Here in Dallas, Texas at the Defending the American Dream Summit brought to you by Americans for Prosperity. This is the president of said organization, Tim Phillips. Tim, good to see you again, sir.
Always good to have you guys with us.
So right now, it's a holiday weekend. It's Saturday. College football starts today.
Yeah, I know.
We both live in Washington where it's humid. The humidity here is unbelievable. But for some reason, you have thousands and thousands of people who came here from literally around the country. I saw pictures on Twitter of buses of people coming here, especially the younger activists.
Right.
The passion is there. The message is being craved. How do you pull this off? Why is this so popular on a holiday weekend?
Activists, Americans, they want to change our country. They want to make it stronger, more vibrant. They want to get this economy going again and turn around these policies from Washington, D.C. and this president. So if you just wave that banner, put it up and let folks know we're in the fight, we're willing to work, they'll join you. I know what happens with the NRA, with protecting the Second Amendment. We see it on the economic freedom front. Americans want to change this country, and they know that we've got to act now. So that yes, the logistics are hard, but having folks join us, that's not hard. People want to be here.
Tim, we're in a period right now, it's kind of weird. I don't know how you would feel about it because you talk about capitalism, prosperity, but talk to me about the Burger King case in particular, because you have a left who's very angry, hashtag boycott Burger King,
right.
Hashtag boycott BK. You don't want companies to have to go to Canada, but you kind of understand with the crushing economic situation here. So where do you fall on Burger King and the Canadian deal?
Well, it's interesting to hear the president and these liberals who put up a tax code that is designed to drive people out of business.
It's like they should be happy with it because it's working.
Their hatred of free enterprise, of these supposedly evil capitalists, is driving them away. We have the highest corporate tax rate in the developed world. It's a combined about 39.5%, depends on which state you're in, after the federal side kicks in as well. And that's higher. We think about France as being an anti-business country.
Right.
We have a higher corporate tax rate than France. And so we're driving away jobs and opportunity. And then who do we blame? Not the politicians, not the left that demonizes economic freedom and job creation. We blame the people who are actually in the businesses trying to earn a living. It makes no sense to me, and it's part of the demagoguery and the class warfare of this administration.
But it's also interesting too, because if you go back a few months, the 10-10 wages and the SEIU marches on McDonald's, even trying to shut them down. You talk about social issues with Chick-fil-A and what they didn't like the positions on gay marriage. You talk about Burger King and this Canadian issue. It's kind of like we're seeing almost a war on fast food, which also coincides with Michelle Obama's war on snacks and cupcakes and it's bake sales. In a weird way, it's all connected.
For the left, everything comes back to two things. They want power to run people's lives using the government. And secondly, they have an ideology that drives everything they do, it seems like. And so they are going after the fast food industry. They sense, frankly, weakness, vulnerability.
Yeah.
So they want to extract money from them. They want to have the trial lawyers come in and begin suing them. That's what's coming next. I'm telling you, the assault on fast food and beverages, soft drinks, the left senses weakness. And when they sense that, they come after you. And that's what they're doing. I'm telling you, it's a broader offensive on that industry in particular. And it's part of a broader assault on economic freedom and capitalism in general. And one reason we hold conferences like this, Defending the American Dream Summit, is to promote economic freedom and to give Americans the confidence to defend it. This economic freedom has pulled more people out of the muck and mire of poverty than any other system of government or economics known to man. And it's time we stand up and defend it, and that's what we're doing at Americans for Prosperity.
When you talk about prosperity, you talk about businesses moving to Canada. We should also talk about the unbelievable amount of migration out of California here to this state of Texas. And Texas itself helps the unemployment rate. Texas itself helps with the GDP. Why is Texas not more of a model? Instead, it's all about Rick Perry and maybe something a foible of his or his glasses or some nonsense like that. They don't focus on the successes here in this state. Americans from around the country are voting with their feet. Texas is one of the fastest growing states population-wise, and it's more from Americans from other states, failing economic states like Illinois,
often California other than Silicon Valley. And they're coming here because there's freedom. There's opportunity that you get when you have economic freedom. And that's what's happening in Texas. And the left hates this model. In the end, it refutes all of their ideology, so they hate it. But Americans are voting with their feet, and they're coming to Texas, and I don't blame them. Texas, Florida, states with a good rule of law, where the trial lawyers are kept in check, where tax rates are lower, and where the regulations are down to a level where you can actually start something and build something.
On the flip side of the coin, though, here in Texas, this is the genesis of the real border problem lately and the influx. But we also have to talk about what's going on with ISIS, and there's stories now. ISIS we know they're already here, let's be honest. But the weaknesses in the border coming here. When we have a president who says we don't have a strategy yet, and then he talks about this. People know about this now. There's always been bad things going on in the world, but now social media is why people know about this. Does that make your job easier in 14 and 16, where the leadership is so lacking right now? People need and crave a change.
Americans now know that this president doesn't have a plan.
Right.
He doesn't.
And he literally says it.
Right. He says it. And Hillary Clinton, when she says, look, a great power cannot have a foreign policy that consists of simply saying, don't do stupid stuff. Right. I mean, even his former Secretary of State says that. Well, speaking for Americans for Prosperity on the economic issues, Mr. President, we really wish you would not do stupid stuff, all right? That's what we want you to not do, So we're fine with, Hillary may criticize that for your foreign policy, but we would love it to be your economic policy. Stop doing stupid stuff like having the EPA run coal and energy out of business, because we need reliable, affordable energy to get this economy moving. Stop raising taxes, stop demagoguing economic freedom. So we would love for the president to shift that foreign policy to his economic policy.
You have, like I said, people from around the country here, but there's people who can't make it here. They just can't make it here, but they're obviously very passionate about this. They watch this stuff, they follow what AFP does. What should the person who's watching, listening right now, who can't come to here, who can't get grassroots training, who can't get media training, all the things that you guys offer, what does the average citizen need to do to affect change?
Well, they can join AFP, AmericansForProsperity.org. We have 35 state chapters now across this country with staff on the ground right there in their neighborhoods and communities. But they can also start working for whatever issue matters most to them. For some folks, it's economics. For other folks, it's maybe foreign policy or immigration or the Second Amendment. This is America. Pick the issue that you're most passionate about, and get involved with the groups that can make a difference on that issue. We're stronger together as a movement. We're individuals, that's what freedom's about. But when we want to affect change, it does help to be part of a large organization that is economic freedom oriented or Second Amendment oriented or whatever the issue that you care about. There's strength in numbers and in creative energy that happens with these groups. So get involved. Pick the group you want to be a part of, join it, and let's fight this fight together for freedom.
Tim Phillips, president of the Americans for Prosperity, put together this fantastic conference. Thanks for having us here. Congratulations on another great event.
It's always good to have the NRA here.